I made 68K in the span of 3 months, and I'm going to share with you exactly how I did that. Now, my investing journey started in 2017, and this was around the time where I was still working a 9-to-5 job.
It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
No, Fugazi. It's fake.
Yeah, fugazi.
I didn't know a single thing about finance, investing, nothing. I came from a background of parents who were financially illiterate.
That you do.
The only thing that they ever taught me, and I'm actually thankful for, is how to save money. So when it comes to my spending habits, I can say I got my spending habits from them, but it really amplified over the years as I began to learn more about finance. In 2017, I had this job, and it was probably one of the worst jobs I've ever worked at. There's a few things that happened in this job that were a blessing in disguise, and I didn't really know it at the time. One, I found a lifelong friend at this place that I still am very, very, very good friends with. And I also met this guy, and I'm gonna keep his name concealed. We're gonna call him Bobby for the sake of the story. But Bobby, I met at this place, and we were working at a furniture company. This furniture company, I'm not even gonna say the name of it, but they sold high-end furniture. So this place came in, clocked in, did delivery for them, fixed up furniture. My life wasn't really going anywhere. I was making probably a few dollars above minimum wage at the time. I had a degree in home renovation technology, but at the time I wasn't really actively pursuing anything in that field, and I was kind of just felt like there was nothing really, I didn't know what I wanted to do at this point in time. I didn't even know where my life was really heading, and I met this guy who literally changed my life. And he was explaining to me as we spent more time at the job for a few months. We used to go on the road together. One day we were at the warehouse and he mentioned something to me called the stock market. And at the time I had zero idea what the stock market was. Not even a single, I've never even heard the words stock and market put together in the same sentence before in my life. And I promise I'm gonna get to exactly how I made this money, and I'm gonna teach you a valuable lesson about how you can do this for yourself. So stick around to the end of the video. He mentioned this thing and he gave me a simple breakdown of what the stock market was. I literally took that information he gave me and I sprinted off running. And what I mean by this is, as soon as he told me that I can make money just by investing my money, the concept was completely foreign to me at the time. So I had to go home and do some more research. So what I did was, I went on ebooks on my iPhone and I bought a book called Stock Market for Dummies for Canadians. And this is the first book, the first piece of information I ever got about investing in my entire life. And I took that book and I read it like a textbook in school. I highlighted notes, I rewrote notes, I studied the notes. And after a month of doing this, at the end of it, I was ready to jump into the market.
Nice.
I had a bundle and a new wealth of information, and my mind, I didn't fully grasp the entire concept of investing it. I don't think anyone could possibly do that in 2 months, but it opened up my mind to the possibilities of how my money could work for me. So like anybody else, what I did was I went down to the Money Mart and I asked for a $4,000 loan. And at the time, weed stocks were craze, and I put money into weed stocks, and long story short, I lost the entire $4,000 I invested. It was a harsh learning experience. I did exactly what everybody tells you not to do. I invested $4,000 at the top of the market. I watched it go down to literally $700 or $800 I think at the time. Maybe it was even lower. Maybe it was like 5 or 4. I can't remember. But I took that money and I got out the market and I said, you know what? I'm done with this thing. And for the next couple years, I spent time learning about the stock market, but I wasn't invested. I didn't think I'd ever invest again. It almost scared me away and changed the entire course of my life with that one situation. 2020 rolls around. I'm actually at a new job at this point in time, and the markets took a big dip near the end of 2020. So we had that massive crash in March, but some who are paying attention who know by the end, near the end of September, beginning of October, there was a pretty big dip in the market, and these things called SPACs came out. At the time, before I even thought about doing investing again, I was just thinking about, man, like maybe I should try this thing. Maybe I should go back into the markets. Maybe I should, I shouldn't give up that quick. I spent the last 2 years scared to put my money in, but maybe I should try, see what happens. So I took a leap of faith. and I went to Money Mart again.
God, please, no! 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 No!
And I got a $10,000 loan. So I more than doubled down again. And this time I went in with a little bit more experience and a lot more caution. At the time, if people remember, there are these things called SPACs, Special Purpose Acquisition Corporations. And instead of the traditional IPOs, these things launched at $10 per share. And there was a lot less regulatory clearance behind these SPACs. And they were coming out like hotcakes. For me, it was a way to get in kind of like pre-IPO. Traditionally, you need to be an angel investor or you need to be an accredited investor. There's obviously investors that were in it before, which is why a lot of things launched a baseline at $10. It was an opportunity for guys like us pretty much hit a quick trend. It was extremely narrative driven. I went crazy. I mean, I was still working a 9 to 5 job, but every single moment I possibly could to go on my phone, search through Yahoo, search through websites. I had literally list and list and list of different websites to get my information from, to track the markets, to find out what SPACs were coming out, when they were coming out, certain price movements, what people thought about these certain SPACs, the potential behind the companies that would eventually become of these SPACs. Everything under the sun I looked at to try and figure out what my next best play was. Lo and behold, I got into companies like Lucid when they were only a SPAC. Tons of other SPACs. And for me to even rack my brain try to remember all these, I'm sorry I can't. The one that stood out to me the most was Lucid because that was the one where I made $15,000 in profit on. And that was probably one of my biggest trades, I would say. I wasn't looking at any of these things like long-term holds, but I was trading them as soon as they came out. They'd pump up a few bucks, sell, on to the next one. And I was doing this repeatedly over and over and over again. And Lucid was one of those that went from literally $10 all the way up to 60 plus and ended up selling somewhere around 54 with a stop loss set. I ended up at the end of everything making close to 70K. It was like 68.9 something at the time. It was pretty much 70K. It was around almost 60K in profit from the loan that I had. And I was pretty proud of myself because it was the moment where I felt unstoppable. I know a lot of people probably got this feeling in 2020 and soon after their hopes were absolutely crushed, as was mine. And I'll get to that part of the story as well. But in this period of time, it opened my eyes up to the possibilities of investing as a whole. And it really got my gears going and the juices flowing. For me, 2021 was it was a good year and a bad year because as you all know, if you're paying attention, the stock market dropped in February and March of 2021. And my portfolio in the matter of a couple months went from 70K down to 25K. I lost about 45K thinking that I was a stock market genius. Now, I ended up selling at around 24, 25K. I still was able to make a profit. I took this money, I paid off my car in full, I paid off the loan I had. So by the end of all that, I was left with about 12K or so, something like that. And yeah, that's where I left off at. Kind of took another back seat from investing. I wasn't really sure where to put my money because the markets weren't doing that great. I ended up getting into crypto later in the year, but I will leave a link to a video that I did in the description where I explain exactly what I did with that money towards the middle and the end of the year that also elevated and changed my life into a whole nother perspective and stratosphere. But you're gonna have to watch that video to find out. And I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, and I wouldn't be able to give you the information that I'm giving you right now if I didn't try and I didn't go through those ups and downs. And I'm still on this journey with you, grinding with you guys, and I will see you in the next one.